Hi everybody, Matt and Tom back with you. Hope you're okay. Well, we're just a couple of days removed from Valentine's Day. So if you celebrated Valentine's Day, I hope you had a fabulous time. Did you celebrate?
I did. We watched the Man in the Iron Mask with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Wow.
I fell asleep.
Yeah, it has that effect on me. But today, our story comes from a Valentine's Day over 200 years ago, from 1818, and it's a tragic event that took place here at Colne Bridge. So here we are at Colne Bridge near Huddersfield. It is a difficult place to film because it is an industrial estate today and very heavy traffic. But what used to be here was a mill called Atkinsons Mill. It was a cotton mill and they spun cotton into yarn. Now this was 1818, so back then there was quite a lot of child labour as well. And a lot of people worked in the mill day and night. And at 5 a.m. on Valentine's Day, 14th of February 1818, an event happened that saw that mill disappear very quickly, but it also claimed the lives of a number of people. So on the night of February 13th into February 14th, there were 26 people on the night shift, including children, and the children would often be found under the machinery, cleaning out like the dust and the cotton yarn, etc., everything that built up under the machines. They were small, they could get under the machines to clean them, and it was just life back then. That happened. And on this night 26 people were working on the mill, including children, and the youngest children there were only 9 years old. Now again, we're in 1818. There was no electricity, so a lot of it was lit by lamps. But on this occasion, somebody was given a task. A boy was given a task to go and collect something, and rather than take a normal lamp, he decided to take a candle. So James Thornton was given the task of going to a room to collect printed cards for the machines. These would be cards that would send the cotton through a certain way in the loom. And rather than take a glass lamp, he took with him a candle that was lit with a match, obviously, and he was sent there under instruction of his supervisor, or known as overseers or overlookers at the time. A minute into him leaving with the candle towards that room, a supervisor suddenly realised what a huge mistake that was. So he chased after James, but unfortunately it was too late. James had entered this room, and the room was thick with dust. So the thick dust and the candle suddenly ignited, and that room, small, dusty, wooden room, was suddenly ablaze. Thornton fled the card room, now ablaze, ran back into the mill to shout what had happened, and then fled the building. The building was almost entirely wooden, its steps, its floors, its ceilings, and the fire began to rapidly ascend. On the mill floor, where the girls were working and cleaning the machines, the fire had already taken the stairs, where they could have gone down and out. A ladder was put up outside the mill at a window, hopeful that the girls might reach it and climb out. However, soon that area too had set alight. Within 30 minutes, the mill was completely gutted. A check to see who had escaped the building totaled just 9 people. 17 were missing out of the 26. Once the fire died down, the search began. 15 bodies were recovered in total. 2 missing entirely suggested they must have totally burnt away. Insensitively, the newspaper reports focused on the mill machinery and the stock all being insured, so the mill would not suffer for its loss. Although what happened inside the mill is unknown, some reports suggest doors inside the mill were locked. The girls had gone up the stairs to try and reach the window where the ladder was, and 14 of the 15 bodies recovered were near that window with the ladder just outside it. None of the original documents into the investigation of the fire exist today, and most of the bodies could not be specifically identified. And much blame was put onto the overlooker, William Smith, who got his own daughter to safety, but rushed back into the building to rescue the machinery rather than help the girls. So that building between Tom and I in the background, that's a pub that's today called the Royal and Ancient. And in 1818, after the fire, the bodies of the children were all taken to the cellar. And today, it's said to be currently the 7th most haunted pub in the UK, because potentially the spirits of those girls are said to haunt it. And again, you just believe what you want to believe, it's totally fine. But yeah, paranormal investigators have listed this the 7th most haunted pub. We can't go in it today, it's closed today, but we'll walk past it. And then from here, we will go to where the girls are actually at rest in Kirkheaton. So, Atkinsons Mill, Colne Bridge Mill, could be, well obviously 200 years gone, could have been rebuilt, but now we think it's lost to basically this industrial estate in the distance that you can see somewhere there.
At that point though, I mean 1818 it could even be lost to this railway.
That's true, yeah.
This could be Atkinsons Mill or anywhere.
It could.
Liverpool or Road.
True. So now we're at Kirkheaton Church, and when the funeral procession of the girls took place, 15 bodies were placed in 11 coffins, and the procession actually went to all houses of the victims. Every house the procession went past before coming here, and they were all, as I say, placed. You've got to imagine that it's no way I can say it other than they are just charred remains, I'm afraid. And the 11 coffins were all buried in one spot, and a memorial placed there, I think about 20 years after the event, something like that. There is something happening at the church. People are coming in and out. I'm hoping we can get to the memorial and not disturb anybody. But yeah, it's a beautiful little spot, this. But yeah, let's see if we can find the memorial to the victims of the Colne Bridge disaster. Okay, so our timing currently on these videos when we come to graveyards is quite poor. We've once again, I think this is the third time in a row, turned up and there is a funeral on. So we've come out of the way for a little bit. We have found the memorial, but literally it's next to where everybody is walking in. So we've just come away for 5 minutes. We'll head back in a second and show you the memorial. What is interesting is whilst we were there, we were talking to someone, and next to it, next to the memorial, is a gravestone, and it's very, very worn, but we think the tomb is where the bodies would have been buried. Obviously then the memorial is next to it. Somebody apparently every single year comes and puts 17 red roses on the grave, and of course it was the anniversary of this happening is only like 3 days ago. Obviously 7 years ago, but 210, sorry. 7, yes. Sorry. Sack the maths teacher. But that's me. But yeah, so it's nice that somebody keeps coming and doing that. But no, they don't know who did it. They're members of the church, but they don't know who does that. So we'll show you the grave. I don't think we'll be able to read it. We'll show the memorial, and then we'll bring this one to an end. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're going to film as quick as we can. This funeral, I don't know exactly when it is. There are so many people coming in. It does feel a bit wrong just to be here and film it. This is the memorial, and I'll show you what is I'll photograph what is on each side of it. It has been kind of redone. Apparently it was a bit run down, redone, and then next to it is the gravestone where we think the bodies would have been buried. Oh yes, there we go, to commemorate the dreadful fate of 17 children who fell unhappy victims, that's strangely worded, to a raging fire, Mr. Atkinson's factory at Colne Bridge, February 14th, 1888. So as you can see, near this place lie what remains of the bodies of 17 children. And across here is a gravestone, and on it are 17 roses. Okay, there we go. That is the story of the Atkinsons Mill fire and the disaster at Colne Bridge in 1818. Hope you've enjoyed watching this one. If you have, do the usual good stuff, like, share, comment and subscribe, and we will see you very soon. And I think next time you see Tom and I, We're going in search of a famous folklore stone. We'll see you there. Take care.